Hello, John Bloodworth, Gentleman Crafter, back with Foundation Paper Piecing Part 23, and this is the arrow. This time around we're back to measuring and cutting, and you've got a couple of squares to cut, and they'll be cut into 4 to give you triangles. The block will be made up of 2 sections, so just roughly cut those out and separate them, and then we'll start by working on the A section. Begin by grabbing your first piece, first colour, turn the pattern over and place your piece right side facing down. This should line up with the solid edge of the section and the red dashed line that's there. Grab the next colour and place that facing down on that piece and then pin that in place. I've set the sewing machine up with a short stitch spacing, so on my machine it's 1.6, and then obviously when we're stitching on the line, the dashed line, between parts A1 and A2. Excuse me. Do a reverse or a tack stitch at the start and end. And you want to be sewing on that dashed line, not either side and not either end. Just on it from start to finish. Trim the threads at the start and end just to stay tidy. Remove the pins and fold that section back so that it covers the entirety of A2. Next, grab a piece of card, place the edge up against the dashed line that separates A2 and A3, fold the pattern back, and use the add a quarter ruler to trim away any excess. This will give you a straight edge against which you can line up the next piece. So this will be the same colour that you've just sewn. Place that so that the edge lines up with the raw edge of the piece you've just sewn. Pin it in place and stitch on the line that separates sections A2 and A3. Same as before, on the line, not around the line. Tack or reverse at the start and end, just to secure that stitching in place. Trim the threads. Unpin and fold that so that it covers, fold that back so that it covers section A3. Grab another piece from your first colour after you've trimmed back any excess on this seam. With correct cutting and correct positioning, you'll probably get rid of very little in this instance. Pin in place, and then you're going to stitch along the line that separates sections A3 and A4. Trim the threads unpin and fold back. This should cover the entirety of the last section. Don't worry if you're a little short. As long as that fabric goes into the seam allowance, you will be perfectly fine. Next, trim everything away outside of that solid border. So that's the foundation paper pattern and also the fabric. You're then going to repeat stitching and sewing for the second piece, but reversing the colour order. Then you'll take part A, put it on top of part B, pin in place, and you'll stitch down the left hand side. Using the dash line as your guide. You can extend beyond the start and finish of this, but try and make sure that you're stitching on the line as you work down. Tack stitch or reverse stitch at the start and end as well. That will secure the stitching in place. Trim your threads, unpin, open up your block, and then place it face down and use your finger pressing tool or something else to open that seam up and press it flat. And that is your arrow block complete. If you've enjoyed this video, please do remember to give it a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe for future content from me. In the meantime, thanks for watching.